Welcome in, everybody. It is the right side of campus, bright and early. Well, for some people here on Monday morning, Jeff and I ready to get after these sporting headlines today after a very eventful weekend and a lot of stuff looking forward to. We have the equinoxes we like to talk about, Jeff, where a lot of sports are going on at the same time. College basketball on the horizon, about a week away. I was on KenPom.com today, Jeff. Saw some stellar matchups here. What a time to be alive, man.
Yeah, this is the best part of the sports season. You got everything culminating into one. College basketball getting going. The NBA is about a week old. Donnie, by the way, in the NBA, there's been 7 double-digit underdogs. Do you know how many have covered out of those 7?
All 7.
6. Last night was the first one that didn't. Charlotte Hornets, 13.5-point underdogs. They get beat. But dogs have been cashing in, especially double-digit dogs in the NBA. Yep, we got college football. Week 10 coming up this week. Week 9 NFL. We're basically through the halfway point of the NFL, Donnie, which will finish up tonight. Dolphins and Steelers. Lot to get into. How you doing?
No, I'm doing good. I'm ready to go. You know, I like Mondays. I like to talk about what happened yesterday, what went wrong, what went right, looking towards the future. And Jeff, as Eagle fans with an impressive victory yesterday over the Buffalo Bills, now we actually look toward the trade deadline and see if we get any help. And it looks like some trades are already moving down the wire. The one we had earlier today, Kenyon Drake goes to Arizona, which won't mean anything. Leonard Williams going to the Giants, which won't mean anything. So we're waiting for the real teams, Jeff, to step up in here and get some help.
You know, that's disappointing. I thought Leonard Williams would have been a nice piece for this defensive line. I actually wrote about that yesterday. You could have got him. What did he end up going for?
3rd and 5.
Yeah, that would have been a nice move. I mean, Leonard Williams is still only 25 years old. I still think he's a guy that you got to realize, Donnie, coming out of USC, Leonard Williams is arguably the best player in the 2015 draft. He hasn't necessarily become the player I think a lot of people thought he would. But I still think there's room for improvement. One thing about Leonard Williams, Donnie, that was the concern with him is he was very raw coming out of college, and he's looked raw. He's not been a great player, but I think it would have been a nice move, would have been a pretty cheap move. I still think he's a pretty cheap guy at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, Donnie, we have to realize with the Philadelphia Eagles, one of the big concerns right now, Tim Jernigan's always injured. Malik Jackson's out for the year. Hassan Ridgeway's not coming back anytime soon. You cut Akeem Spence. I mean, you're really down to Fletcher Cox and practice squad players. I would have liked to have seen that move. I think it would have been a nice addition to this team. But, again, you would expect moves to be made. Trade deadline is tomorrow.
Yeah, it's kind of odd because I have no idea what the New York, which is a very good thing. Like the Redskins are a dead franchise, the Giants are a dead franchise, and when you take a look at the Giants, I don't understand the motives behind it. Like, last year you get rid of Snacks Harrison. I put out a tweet. Olivier Vernon gets traded away, JPP gets traded away, and then you go out and trade draft capital to get Leonard Williams, who again, he's a good player, but he's a piece to a team, Jeff, where you're trying to get somewhere like this year. Because if you say, oh, he's in our plans, well, you really box yourself in, right? Because you traded 3 and 5 away. He's an unrestricted free agent next year. So he's going to hold your feet to the fire. And as an organization, well, hey, we just don't want to lose our 3rd round and 5th round pick. We got to sign this guy to maybe a value that you would have to overpay for just to keep him on your own team. And your team stinks. It doesn't make any sense, man.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Leonard Williams that a contender could obviously like is you don't have to give up a ton for him. He is a good run stopper. He's pretty quick, and he's not going to be real expensive. I mean, Leonard Williams is not going to get a huge deal. Leonard Williams has to really kind of, I think, Donnie proved that he's a capable player in this league. I don't know if he's done that yet, but for a team like the Eagles who maybe don't necessarily need a star, I would have thought they'd be moving at that. Now they need to go out and get Robbie Anderson. And if they're not going to get Leonard Williams, Donnie, at this point, and I think you would agree, and this is the last thing I'll say on the Eagles, and I'm sure we'll talk about them, we can't continue to wait for Deshaun Jackson. I mean, at the end of the day, we hear he's close to becoming, coming back, but he's 32 years old. You need a long-term replacement for Deshaun Jackson. Robbie Anderson is that type of player. He's a local kid. I think he's a guy that can really add a lot to your football team. They don't have a deep threat. They're dink and dunk. And that's why yesterday they were probably pretty good playing that windy Orchard Park Stadium. But they got to go out and make some moves. I hope they do because they're letting players like Leonard Williams kind of pass by and not do anything about it.
Yeah, I like the whole thing where you see some of the beat writers in Philadelphia, and they'll come up with like, well, next year you can't cut Alshon because he makes too much money. You can't cut D. Jackson B for another year. And I say to myself, it's about fit. Like salary, again, in the NFL, there is a salary cap for what we think it is. But if you have an owner with big money, there is no salary cap whatsoever in football that you can, this isn't like 2001 where GMs weren't really sure and you had to blow teams up. Nobody really loses players anymore that they really want to have. And having Robbie Anderson as a long-term replacement, because what's going to happen next year, Jeff? Hey, Deshaun Jackson, an abdominal injury. Who's to say it doesn't happen again next year?
Right.
So it doesn't make any sense. You have to go out and get this. And isn't he, if you picked one guy in the NFL right now who's young, who's affordable, and you can get for, let's just say, a third-round pick, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it him? He's the perfect guy.
No, exactly. And that's the thing. You're not going to give up much to get Robbie Anderson. Yeah. A third-round pick will do it. He's much better than anyone you're going to draft. He's a
Jeff, how about
player.
this? How about this with Robbie Anderson? We're talking third-rounder because that's usually what, we traded last year. The Eagles traded last year for a Golden Tate for a third-rounder. Right now on the table, Robbie Anderson is 26 years old, so you figure he's going to have elite speed, probably for at least another 4 to 5 years. Would you trade him straight up right now? JJ Arcega-Whiteside that you drafted a second rounder. Would you trade him straight up for Robbie Anderson today?
Oh yeah, in a heartbeat.
A heartbeat. I mean, isn't that the whole gist of the end? Like, we drafted him. No, it's like a car that just gets off the lot that you bought. It's no longer worth that anymore. No,
and the thing is, the Eagles have made it clear they don't like JJ Arcega-Whiteside either right now. They're not playing him. He's kind of in the doghouse. Listen, Donnie, you know what I think is going to happen with this team? They're going to justify yesterday and say, well, look, our corners are back. We played well, and we were able to get by with practice squad players, and we get Deshaun back. So, yeah, that'll add to it. Listen, I'm telling you, they're going to skimp and not do anything, and they're going to try to sell a bill of goods that this team's good because they only shut down the Bills at 13 points. And, that's what they do. I'm telling you, that's what they'll do. And then they'll go to the draft next year with all these picks. They'll fail again. I mean, it's just – we've seen this before. I mean – you need to go out
there now. Chris Harris is out there right now. If you wanted him, you could make a play. Now, I actually would really like Chris Harris. Oh, even though Chris Harris is a little bit older than Darius Slay.
Donnie, Chris Harris, let me say something real quick. Yeah. Chris Harris is an elite corner in this league.
He is an elite corner. Yes, he is.
I mean, we have to stop dancing around this, Eagles. We have to. You are not good at scouting draft talent. It's not worked.
I would rather have Harris than Slay because Slay still has that. Because you know what would happen? The Eagles would trade for Darius Slay with a hamstring injury, and he would end up on IR. Like Harris is healthy. He would be invigorated. I mean, he's playing well this year. Don't get me wrong, but he would be even reinvigorated coming to the Eagles, and you can line him up against the other team's number one. Oh man, it's too perfect, and that's why it won't happen, right?
No, exactly. I mean, there's guys out there, Donnie, that I think are going to be on the block. I wondered about Hassan Reddick out at Arizona. I know they had some question marks on him at the position that he played, but looks like those have been figured out. I'd like to see a linebacker somehow, but I don't know if that's going to happen. I mean, yesterday as well. Well, I mean, we played well. The linebackers did what they – Nathan Jerry was terrible yesterday if you watch the film. But we can't talk about the Eagles all night. But at the end of the day, we're going to hope they make some moves.
No, it certainly. Well, tomorrow we'll have an even bet because you'll probably get a flurry tonight. And of course, people have trade deadlines. It's tomorrow. So everybody's going to be positioning themselves. And until you get right up until that deadline is where the actual plays actually move. Because in the football in the NFL, you only need that guy in there for Wednesday to start installing game plan. There's no rush for today and tomorrow right up to the deadline, but it should be a lot of fun. Let's get the headlines today, Jeff. World Series reversal. How about this? Drop 2 games at home. Your 2 aces on the mound. It's all there for Washington, and they are getting their ass kicked, Jeff, in Washington. 3-2 goes back to Houston. Mattress Mac about to cash in, Jeff. It's all about Mattress Mac in this, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you hate to see it happen to the Nationals. God forbid, Look, I got to tell you, Donnie, I couldn't give a shit about the World Series. I hate to be like this, but I just don't care. I mean,
the only reason I like it is because the Phillies, again, are going to avoid a National League East team winning a World Series since they're the last one to do it. And I'm getting a nice laugh here because I don't want Washington to win. I don't want Atlanta to win. I don't want the Mets to win. Just Houston win it. It means nothing to us here in Philadelphia, the East Coast, or anything if Houston wins.
Unless you live in Houston, does anyone give a flying fuck that the Astros are going to win the World Series?
No,
who cares? Because if you're a Yankee fan, you don't want to see Houston win. All the big markets hate Houston. Houston's a bunch of shitheads anyway. The fucking GM and owner are fucking shitheads. That fucking Osuna. I hate their fucking lineup. Everything about them is irritating. They're a shitty organization. I hate them, and I don't want them to win. But you know what? They're going to win. Cool. It means very little. No one cares.
Yep, I'm here looking through the back of StreamYard. Thanks for joining us with Alex Crypto, Adam. Who else is in here? Josh is in here. Let's see, Adam, Lloyd, Alex. Thank you for joining us today. Guan, of course, in here. Jukes is in here. Sports Kegs in here. What's good, everybody? Thanks for joining us here on a nice little Monday afternoon to talk some, have some fun.
Hey, hold on a second.
Yeah, go.
I also want to go on a soapbox for a second,
Soap
if I can. You know what I'm sick of, Donnie, in this fucking world? Is people that like Crypto Capper or whatever his name is. I love the hate. What the fuck does that even mean? Yeah, I'm sure you love everybody that we hate. Like, nobody cares about the Houston Astros, bro. Like, I'm sorry. Nobody gives a fuck that they're going to win the World Series outside of all of you. Again, the fact that Houston wins the World Series isn't going to change your life at all. You know, I got to tell you, Donnie, sports fans more and more make me sick. Like, I don't understand it. I don't get it. Look, I love the Eagles, but at the end of the day, Donnie, I'm really kind of realizing it doesn't fucking matter if they win or lose. I do it because this is what I do. This is how we, grind away a little bit of money every day. But I'm getting more and more to the point of like these fans that are like, "Oh, I love my team." It's like, get a fucking. I don't know. Do you see it, Donnie? Do you get where I'm going? Like, I don't get it anymore. I don't get why people watch sports for like enjoyment. Like, I
tell you what's really interesting, because my whole life was built on, I just need to see the Eagles win a Super Bowl,
but
and
they
actually did.
Yeah.
And then I'm a lot softer as a fan. Like, I watch the Eagles games and I still root and cheer, but like, I already reached the top of the mountain. Which a little bit of part of me, Jeff, wishes that the Eagles never won a championship. How crazy that sounds, because you always have that do or die mentality every year. And now they got like, my life circle in sports is absolutely complete. And you're right, it's a job to do this business now.
Yeah, I mean, sports anymore is just it sucks. I mean, there's really no. We've seen everything. I feel like we're getting to a frontier with sports where I'll tell you, Donnie, the next 10 years, I really worry about where some of the sports that I like are going, like college basketball. I think in my lifetime, I'm going to see a situation where college basketball players are going to get paid, and it's going to suck because it will never, college basketball is so pure, it just happens. I don't know. These whole fan bases are so diluted and delusional. It's like they don't get like it's not. I'm not trying to be mean to you. I'm just being honest. Like, what does this team do for you? What are they like? These guys that root for like college teams that are like because they went there for a few years. They live and die by it. It's like I don't get it, but.
Yeah, it is a certain eye, but also, Jeff, the big thing in the World Series last night that was making its rounds on social media. Boobgate last night, Jeff. Did you see anything about Boobgate last night?
Yeah, and I'll tell you right now, these people that did this should be banned from any sporting event. Listen, this is another thing that annoys me. This is the state of culture we're in as a society. This is not funny. Like, what's funny about this? It's a fucking bad baseball game, a World Series game, Donnie. Not a fucking game in August. This is a World Series game. Like, I'm not trying to be one of those, oh, I love boo. Like, shut up. It's a World Series game, for God's sakes. Ban these fucking idiots and don't let them back in. It's not funny. It's stupid. It's a fucking game, Donnie. It's a professional game. People are trying to win a World Series. Ban those shitheads and keep them out.
And they did. So I don't know how they're going to actually ban them or why they would even go back to a baseball game, but that's neither here nor there. The question I have for this is, right, so we see it last night, which I didn't see because I didn't watch 1 second of the game. I woke up this morning to actually see who won that game. But I saw, like, going around making its rounds on, flashing while Garrett Cole was on and it says like a business thing, which I don't know what business it's for. But I have a question for you, Jeff. Like, they flash, you know what I mean? They get thrown out, or I don't even know if they got thrown out of the game, but they get a letter from baseball immediately the next day. You can't come back. I got a question for you, Jeff. If that was two dudes dropping their drawers with their junk, are they not in jail and facing like all types of indecency charges? But the female, you just can't come back.
Yeah, it's just a funny joke. By the way, no offense to that broad, but I don't know if anybody wants to see her tits, to be real.
I don't know. I saw a couple pictures of their like regular shots. They look all right, man.
Yeah, they didn't look too good from where I was. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I'll tell you, Donnie, today for me is today's one of those days where you I don't really know where I'm getting at with this point I'm going to make, but you ever have a day, Donnie, where everything you think about is just like, what does it all matter? Like
Negative. You're just negative on everything.
Like,
yes. Yeah.
I hate the world we live in. Like, I just hate it. Like everything about like all this social media and stuff. Like I get it. We have to have it because this is what we do. And it's for us, it's important to have, but I got to tell you, man, as I get older, Donnie, I'm telling you now, someday I'm going to end all this shit and never look back. And this Twitter crap and this whole, like, everything's got to be on video and everything's funny and we're trying to be viral with everything. And I know occasionally I'm posting videos that I probably shouldn't, but I'm just sick of it. Today, it's just not a good day, Donnie. Everything is just negative to me.
Huh. It's a negative Monday, Jeff. You got to get all that, that venting out today. But besides getting vented out, Jeff, and leaving it all behind, what about LeBron James? From his multi-million-dollar enclave, he probably had to get the family up with all the chauffeurs and the, huge navigators and Escalades and maybe limousines. And he was tweeting out that nobody would let him into a hotel and all this stuff. Can you imagine, Jeff, LeBron can't get into a hotel after getting evacuated with his family?
What did he get evacuated for? Oh, the fire.
Yeah, the fire's out there.
Okay.
Yeah. So he tweeted out early in the morning, they asked me to evacuate. I can't find a hotel, but he found one like 5 minutes later.
He's another one. Your life is so tough. Let's all feel sorry for LeBron. I'll tell you what, he has become the most hateable guy over the last month.
Insufferable is a good word.
Yeah, you're so right, Donnie. It's like, I always try to look past like his insufferability because he was a great NBA player and he's likely the greatest player over the last 10 seasons. But I'll tell you what, he is an insufferable guy. Like everything he does is just, he's another annoying guy. Like everything he does is annoying. Every like stupid video he posts, like stupid sayings, and look, the fact that he calls his son Bronny, like it's just everything about him is just like cringe.
Jeff, I thought your favorite video of LeBron was when his sons are out there trying to practice and he's putting on a dunk show for the crowd.
It's another. Yeah, I mean, it's always about him. Everything's about him. Like. It's just he is brutal. He is brutal. Look, he's a great player, but I've hated him. Everything, he's a sellout. Everything he does is selling himself out. He's just a sellout. That's all he is. By
the way, Jeff, we have breaking news for the Eagles. The Eagles have signed tight end Scott Orndorff to the practice squad today. That was just put out by the beat reporters.
Yeah, again, you're really starting to test they're really starting to test the patience of like fans. Like it's not funny. Like it's lame. Like. I guess maybe
you don't need this many people on your practice squad. Like, what is the deal? I thought the practice squad was our draft picks would be our practice squad because we believe in them. We're going to try to get them better. Why do you rotate practice squad guys every week, like 2 and 3 of them at a time?
I've never seen
nobody's signing guys off of your practice squad. That's how bad your practice squad is, right? Where nobody's poaching your practice squad. Yeah, well, thanks for the news brief, Donnie. No problem. How about this one? Last one we'll get to because we're going to talk a little NBA later in the show. The Warriors. And I got to say, I'm actually enjoying the Warriors getting absolutely drilled nightly so Draymond Green can sit up there and have to answer questions about why instead of them pulverizing teams that have an illegal team that you're like back in the day if you're playing NBA 2K, you're not allowed to be the Warriors. They're too good. It's fun seeing them get their absolute ass kicked every night. Yeah, I mean, the other night was kind of embarrassing. I mean, you put 92 points up against the Thunder. I mean, the Thunder put up we won 20. That's embarrassing. The Thunder aren't a good basketball team with very limited scoring options. Yeah, this team is struggling right now defensively. They don't seemingly have much offense outside of D'Angelo Russell and Stephen Curry. D'Angelo was a mess the other night. Yeah, it's a bad team right now. But I'll tell you right now, Donnie, you know who I can't wait to back tonight? Who? Golden State, baby. Uh-oh. Yeah, we're going to hit that a little bit later. We'll talk about some fun NBA action. Let's keep it moving. Let me just bring up these topics. NFL Sunday, there's a lot to go over. There really is a lot to go over. Now, yesterday I did a couple shows, had some success. Actually, on my personal plays, Jeff, I went 2 and 3, and it usually hinges like a winning day on one game that you blow and you can't get back from it. And yesterday, team totals came in through, but the Chicago Bears absolutely destroyed me again. And I watched the tape already this morning, went over all the numbers from what I was looking at how they played. And if you didn't see a box score or you didn't see the final score of the game and somebody gave you the box score, you would say, how the hell did you lose this game? And there's 2 words, Mitch and Matt. one of the most unbelievable performances I've ever seen in the National Football League from a coaching staff and a quarterback in this. And somebody actually asked me today on Twitter, like, hey, can you make that adjustment? Can they trade and, get another quarterback in there for Mitchell Trubisky? If you do that, Jeff, do you not have to fire the head coach and also the front the front office at the same time if you move on? You could have had any other quarterback out there. I mean, we can always say, you could have Mahomes because he's behind him, and obviously Deshaun Watson. The fact that he drafted Mitchell Trubisky and he cannot play, and they lost that game is outrageous yesterday, Jeff.
Just want to remind all you Bears fans, Deshaun Watson was taken after your quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Just wanted to remind you.
You didn't have to give up much to get him. You could have said,
listen, it's pretty simple with the Bears, okay? I've said this for years. They have no elite talent at the skill positions. They just don't. I mean, I'm sick of hearing Taylor Gabriel and Allen Robinson are good players. They're average receivers in the NFL. Their receivers might be worse than the Eagles, Donnie. I mean, to be real honest with you,
I don't think so. I just think their quarterback. You can't even make a play. There's nothing more demoralizing, Jeff, in football. If you ever had this shot where your quarterback stinks and you're a wide receiver, which I've had, there's no more demoralizing.
No, and that's also one of again at the end of the day as well. Not only do you have bad, skill position players, but you have a quarterback that just can't get them the football. He's not good enough. It's been a massive failure for the Bears, and it's a shame because the defense is actually good. I mean, you look at their rushing defenses today was terrific. Again, Keenan Allen had a huge drop, so I mean that kind of helped in a way. It was, I think, a little closer than it should have been. But yeah, look, I got to say, Donnie, just being, the positive guy I am today, let me ask you.
Yeah.
Why back the Bears?
I thought yesterday would have been, and it was, and look, on the statistics, it was, but it's funny because I even talked about it before. I was like, all through the season, the common denominator for the Bears is you can't really back them if they're going to give more than a field goal, which it was 3.5 yesterday. Yeah. So I'm watching the game. I spent a lot of time just watching that because the Eagles were on as well. But I wanted to put that game on, and I'm saying to myself, there's no way the Bears can lose this game. Literally, the Chargers can't do anything out here. And the Bears continuously got in the red zone. And where I knew that it was a fait accompli, Jeff, early in that football game, we used to say it and joke around with Eli Manning last year when the Giants got in the red zone. They just ran the football because they knew Eli was going to throw an interception. It was 3rd and goal from the 9-yard line. They handed off to Tariq Cohen for 1 yard. And I said, good Lord. And how about the way, and I'm so happy because we're on the same wavelength, Jeff, a lot of times in our gambling. If I'm not going to cover, I want you to lose the football game. They drive down the field late in the ball game. And Matt Nagy, with a minute to go and 2 timeouts, Jeff, they're at the 21-yard line with a shit field goal kicker who's already missed that day. They took a knee to move the field goal back. Let's just say if they ran 2 plays and ran the football forward for 1 yard and 1 yard, Jeff, that field goal is good and they win. But because they're quarter, and did you hear what Matt Nagy said at the post-game press conference at that, Jeff, about why he did it?
No.
He didn't want to risk a sack and a fumble in that point. So that's how much you like your quarterback.
No confidence
right?
in your quarterback.
Hey, look, hey, Matt, hey, Mitch, if it's not there, throw it away. You know what, Mitch? I can't even trust you to actually not take a sack and fumble because the way they lost the game, late in that game, you saw the Chargers miss a field goal. Still 16-10 with 9 minutes to go. And Mitchell Trubisky takes a sack on his own, throws the football backwards on he's getting swung around and just drops it was amazing to watch. And I said to myself, I was like, you know what? I actually deserve this loss, but it was really nice to see Pinero miss that late field goal.
I mean, I think we all knew he was going to miss it. I mean, it was so Bears that you had to feel like it was going to happen. But yeah, I mean, another wasted defensive performance yesterday by the Bears. No,
let's get to we talked about the Eagles to start. Impressive. And if you watch any of the shows all week long, I was on the record saying 21-20 Bills. I just don't see them toughing this football game out. But you know what's interesting? Because we're going to talk about another game. And you were right before we got on the show. I think it's crazy to actually admit it because most people in the right sense would say, ooh, windy conditions. You're going to have to run the football. That's right up Buffalo's tail. But when we always scream at the Eagles, what do you have to lean on? A big, nasty offensive line, a jackhammer at running back, a quarterback that's athletic. And their passing game really isn't there except to throw maybe a couple quick outs or try to be, funny about it, so to speak. And you didn't have to worry about your cornerbacks getting beat deep. So you could have played your safeties lined up against the line of scrimmage and stopped the run. Who would have thought, Jeff, a windy condition day actually benefited our Philadelphia Eagles?
Yeah, and keep in mind, Josh Allen can't throw the ball downfield. So
did you see the one deep ball he had, Jeff, air-mailed it? And actually, Rodney McLeod, I don't know what he was doing. He should have just fair caught the ball. They threw one deep ball, and it was awful. And I was like, yep, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the things that when I saw the weather report, I really thought, wow, this is going to benefit the Eagles, because you look at Josh Allen. I mean, the way you beat the Eagles is attacking them vertically, attacking them deep. And Josh Allen, that was the big knock on him coming out of Wyoming. He is a dink and dunk player. He loved the guy. You look at his favorite receiver down at Wyoming, Tanner Gentry.
Yeah,
Cole Beasley type.
And
that's why Cole Beasley for him has worked. I mean, that's a good – whoever brought Cole Beasley in, that's a great signing, because that's the kind of guy he likes. But, yeah, he can't throw the ball downfield. And, again, Eagles are very good against the run. They found a way to figure that out. And, it was good game plan, good play calling. I thought Carson Wentz played really well. I was happy with the performance yesterday. Defensively, I still, they still want to make me rip my fucking hair out.
How about the one drive? 3 straight third and longs and nobody can tackle when they score. Right when you take the lead to go up like double digits, I'm like, good Lord, man, what's wrong with you guys?
I've never seen a third down defense worse. Let me ask you something, Donnie.
Yeah.
And this is where, for me, the Jim Schwartz hate comes. I'm going to tell you where. I get he doesn't have a lot of great players. I get that. But, Donnie, you have that sticks defense. He seems to blitz when he can't get to the quarterback.
Yeah, you can't blitz. The Eagles should not blitz. The Eagles don't have any playmaker to blitz. That's remember when Brian Dawkins used to blitz because he's an all-world, all-pro guy, and he would sack the quarterback and cause fumbles. When the Eagles bring and what Jeff's talking about is a zero blitz, meaning we're going to come with 7 guys, you have 5 guys to block them. Nobody gets home. It's amazing.
And the thing is, here's the thing about the blitzing, okay? So they're blitzing 8 guys, okay?
Yeah.
4 linemen and then 4 linebackers or corners. There's only 5 offensive linemen, maybe 1 running back. So numbers-wise, you should be able to get there. Now, keep in mind, on 3rd and 15, they have a sticks defense where basically they put all 6 corners basically on the fucking first down line and just let them catch it and run up and tackle them. There were multiple 3rd and 10s or higher. They're blitzing every time.
Yeah.
When you blitz, when you should blitz, you don't. And when you shouldn't blitz, you do. That's where I have a problem with Schwartz. Like, that's not good. He was really bad yesterday. A lot of that was coaching.
I don't know if you could say they were bad.
Why? He's sending blitzes when he shouldn't, Donnie. He did it.
They should just go front 4. By the way, Derek Barnett is having a pretty good season now, getting after the passer. And that was nice because you're going to lose some 3rd and 4s, 3rd and 5s, because Allen's a really good athlete. He's going to escape. But the zero blitzes are the only reason the zero blitz is supposed to work is because a free pass rusher is supposed to come in every single time, and they don't ever get it. They don't ever get it.
Right. They're not fast enough. None of their corners are good tacklers, so they're not good ball. They can't get to the quarterback and make it happen. Listen, Derek Barnett, he's still got to stop over pursuing. I mean, he's over pursued a couple different times, but good player, fine player. Eagles win. We're happy with it.
Now, another one yesterday, Jeff. I actually got a good number in this game. The Browns had the Browns first half +7. I'm saying to myself, like, ooh, windy conditions, rainy conditions. This is nice because it closed at like 6 or 6.5 by the time it game. But CLV, I should have cashed it in, but I wasn't able to. So, but looking at this game with the Browns, and I'm watching Jeff in the first quarter. So they kick off, and New England gets a first down, then has to punt. I'm like, hey, I'm going to be in this one. You know what? They're ready to go. They 3 and out and punt it back, and just all hell breaks loose, Jeff. And I look at this football team and I go, you know what? Sometimes you have to take just the head coaching and preparation so much more than what you're actually getting from the game, because they didn't even cover whether it was 13.5 that even got during midweek if you were able to get that good of a number on the Cleveland Browns losing by 14. I don't get it. Like, it's fumbles, it's running plays and tossing the football to another defensive lineman from the other team. It's being woefully ill-prepared. Even on the last drive of the half, with about 6.5 minutes to go, the Patriots got the football, Jeff, and were routinely in 3rd and 7 or longer, and you had illegal hands used to the face twice on that. You had personal fouls. You had defensive holdings. And I'm saying this is a direct derivative of your coaching staff and your team just not being able to handle it. OBJ, where have you been? Like, what's the deal on their offense?
It's not good. And any person that knows anything about football would tell you it's not going to be good. They're like the Bears. They don't have a good enough quarterback. He's not good enough. He just isn't.
And who would have thought, Jeff, that weather actually hurt them yesterday when it probably should have? Imagine getting that many points going, and weather's going to hurt my team. Amazing.
But he also, Donnie, Mitchell Trubisky at least has like the physical stature skill. Like, he's a bigger kid. This kid isn't at all. He's got no awareness. His feet are too happy. He's a mess. And it doesn't help the fact that he is a play caller that's a complete fucking imbecile. Listen, here's all you need to know about the Cleveland Browns. Donnie, 10 penalties a game.
Easy. Yep.
There's not even any other team in the league that has 9 penalties a game. They're that undisciplined. Like, they're just a fundamentally bad team. And it starts with the quarterback.
We get a block kick, or I get a block kick at the end of the second quarter. It's 2 minutes and 17 seconds to go. It's 17-7. Like, if they drive down and get a touchdown, I can win. If they drive down and get a field goal, at least I'm going to push, which would be a miracle. So you figure you're in New England, right, Jeff? You're going to get the ball after the half. You're saying, you know what? Now is the time that we have to start pressing. Let's see if we can get a score and then score after the half and make this a new football game. They take the ball 2:17, Jeff. They run it on first down, which is okay because you have the 2-minute warning and you get 7 or 8 yards. Coming out of the 2-minute warning, Jeff, they run it again. And then they throw a 1-yard pass. So they went 3 plays, 11 yards. Then the very next play, they threw, I believe it was a incomplete pass, then an out. They take the sack. And I'm saying to myself, if you are a well-coached team, aren't you full throttle right there with 1 timeout in your pocket, the 2-minute warning? They look like they were taking the approach, Jeff, like a bad high school team that goes, this team's really good, we're playing. Let's just not make any mistakes before the half and get to the half. It was unbelievable. You knew they were going to take a straight L after I saw that.
Jimmy Haslam, Donnie, needs to fire John Dorsey, okay? John Dorsey has failed multiple times appointing a coach of this team, okay? Hugh Jackson was a horrible hire. Freddie Kitchens. I mean, who the fuck is Freddie Kitchens? Where did he even come from? Who is this guy?
Dude, he was a running backs coach last year that was elevated and then made he was a running backs coach without any head coaching experience, and within like 7 months, he was the head football coach.
Amazing. We got a comment here, Donnie. We got a comment on this. Big man, I disagree. I think the quarterback is fine for the Browns. It's the coach that they have. He is an imbecile, and you can tell he's not a well-repaired man for this league. I don't know what that means. But
well-prepared man, I guess.
Okay. Oh, wow. You think, Donnie?
I can't give up on Baker Mayfield and say he's not going to be a good quarterback. But
why? He has no skills in this league.
But sometimes it does matter, like what your coach is doing for you. Like imagine if you had Kyle Shanahan. You know what I mean? I can't get because he flashed. Baker Mayfield did flash last year, and he's taken a big regression. And by the way, we're going to talk trade deadline a little bit later for tomorrow.
His first year, Donnie.
Why are the Browns talking about? Oh, we're going to add a offensive lineman at the dead. They're done. Their season is over. What are they talking about? Adding another person? Do they even have any draft picks left? Jesus Christ.
Well, listen, Donnie. Maybe at some point people will start giving me some respect because I told you the Browns would stink, and I told you the Chiefs would make the playoffs. And
Chiefs
look what's happening.
The AFC is weak, though, man.
But everyone thought I was nuts. Oh, yeah, big man's a fucking idiot. He's an imbecile. He's a lunatic. Yeah, well, looking pretty good right now. What if Patrick Mahomes don't come back, Donnie? They ain't making the playoffs.
I want him back this week. Beat the Vikings. Straight up. Let's go.
Good point.
All right, let's keep it moving here on the NFL, Jeff. Drew Brees is back, and I like to joke because we're going to joke in just a couple moments about one of my favorite players. We're sending out tweets about how upset he is about certain things. But Drew Brees is back in the fold, Jeff. Look, this team is a problem. They're a problem. And it goes back to when we talk about Freddie Kitchens being a shitty head coach, right? Now you're going to take a look at Sean Payton and what he's built. Oh, Drew Brees goes down? No big deal. Teddy's going to take over. We're not going to miss a beat. Hey, we got to win low-scoring games. We're used to winning high-scoring games. No problem at all. Let's focus on our defense. I got to tell you, Sean Payton is a miracle worker, and the Saints are going to be a problem, Jeff.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised at this decision that he played yesterday. You and I both talked about it. Didn't really see the reason for it, but hey, I mean, he's back. He's healthy. Why not? He was unbelievable yesterday. I have the Saints to win the Super Bowl. I bet it at Tropicana, Donnie, back in the summer. And I have the ticket right in my kitchen. I'm excited about this team. I mean, defensively, they look really good. No one can go into that place and win.
Mm-mm.
I'll tell you, Saints 49ers will be a fun NFC title game. The NFC's really good. A lot of good teams. But yeah, Breeze was terrific yesterday. Peyton is one of the great coaches in the league for sure. It's not even.
I mean,
close.
Alvin Kamara's out. He just then Latavius Murray just turns into like Adrian Peterson out of nowhere. But it starts, Jeff, with an unbelievable coaching staff and a dominant offensive line, and see what you can build out there. It's impressive what they're doing. So we're going to roll this right over to the 49ers. An epic beatdown yesterday. And I don't know if, like, I wasn't surprised that the 49ers won the football game, but the way they did it, and I don't understand, Jeff, like in this whole passing league that we use, where now Shanahan's saying, you know what? I have guys with so much speed in the backfield. We're just going to set guys up in the running game for the passing game. They look like they were on blitzkrieg out there. It was amazing to watch how fast Tevin Coleman is, the Matt Breidas of the world, Mosterts of the world. They have so much speed. They play a really fun brand of football, and that front seven will beat your ass, man.
No, I was surprised. I was real surprised that they were able to not only win, but win big and put up 50?
50.
Yeah, look, the jury's still out on the not jury's out on the Niners, but the jury's still out on, again, like the Patriots. And if someone's asking me, Donnie, who the best team in the NFL is, you know who I would tell them?
Who?
New Orleans. New Orleans on paper is the best team in the league. Nobody's got a Michael Thomas, an Alvin Kamara, a Drew Brees,
nasty O-line, good D-line, yep.
A coach.
Home field advantage.
Yeah. I'm telling you, like the Patriots are really good and undefeated, but they played fucking nobody. And, their defense is really good, and they have Tom Brady, but I'll take the Saints over them. I'll take the Saints over the Niners too. But I'll tell you, though, getting Emmanuel Sanders, that's big. Garoppolo hasn't even played that well, and they're still finding ways to win games. Yeah, those are the three best teams in the league.
No, yeah, and I agree with you there. Something might, because I like the Emmanuel Sanders move, but they can really send it into overdrive because they got draft capital. They're young. They're well under the salary cap. Like if they could somehow shake like an AJ Green to go with Emmanuel Sanders, and then obviously with some of the other younger, faster wide receivers they have, it would be amazing. But we're talking about Cincinnati, Jeff. That's 0-8, and God love Mike Brown, man. God love him. We're gonna see if we can make a run at this thing. Why does Cincinnati, should they trade every single person who anybody wants on that team, Jeff? And if AJ Green stays, who is a free agent next year, that would really make me laugh.
Yeah, I don't know if there's one player I wouldn't trade on that team, to be real honest with you.
Even the quarterback.
Sure, everybody. By the way, Donnie, who's going to get paid next year?
Who?
Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, no, he's going to be valuable, man. Can you imagine like the Chicago Bears right now with Teddy Bridgewater? How much they would love it?
Yeah, I mean, what? And
why don't you move? Good point, Jeff. Why do you not move Teddy Bridgewater at the deadline this year? Now that Drew Brees is back, why would you not?
Yeah, and get Chris Harris in return.
Because what are you going to sign him for next year? Pretty sure Teddy Bridgewater is only on a 1-year deal. Is he going to say, "Oh, I'll stay here for $20 million"?
Donnie, here's what you do if you're Denver.
Yeah.
Chris Harris, Teddy Bridgewater, straight up. You need a quarterback. They need a good
for who?
Straight up, Bridgewater
for Denver.
For Harris, yeah.
I wouldn't do it for Denver's done this year, though. Like, it would make more sense for somebody that's hanging on that edge.
Yeah, but why not let him have that half of the season to get camaraderie, build it. You'll be ready for the season next year. You get rid of Harris, and you get a guy back. Yeah, maybe even a pick as well.
Yeah.
How about this, Donnie? Give me a third-round pick and Bridgewater, and you can have Harris.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. And if you're really thrifty in that Saints front office, there's no better time to trade him than absolutely right now. So, I mean, I would agree with you. It does make sense to get him a couple.
Hey, before we move on, Donnie, I want to just touch on something quick. We just talked about the trade deadline tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Now, Donnie, you know how people make money in sports betting and are pretty good at it?
Yes.
You can foreshadow.
Yes, correct. Okay? Yeah.
What all of you should be doing today is going on whatever sportsbook you use and checking out future prices.
Correct.
Because they're not going to be the same tomorrow. You can bank on that. So let's take a look, Donnie, at some of the prices here.
Go.
This is to win the Super Bowl. Let me find it here. Team futures. I'm at FanDuel. Patriots, no. Saints, no. Niners at 9-1, Donnie. It's likely they go out and improve their football team again. Possible.
Yeah.
To look at a team like the Baltimore Ravens. I could see them going out and making a move. Who else? Dallas Cowboys.
The Eagles. The Eagles are as cheap as they're going to get right now.
18-1. Look at the Colts, 30-1, Donnie.
Yep.
I'll tell you, the Colts, I was disappointed in their effort yesterday.
But they won the game. Do that. Exactly. Good
they won the game,
which
is huge. And you look at that team. What would you like to see there? Is there anything that they need necessarily? I wouldn't mind maybe a pass rusher, one other one.
Yeah, then maybe because they're going to get Funchess back. They got Paris Campbell back yesterday. As long as T.Y. Hilton's healthy, you have a pretty decent wide receiving core. You got a couple decent tight ends. You have an offensive line. Yeah, like I think the defensive side trying to like bolster like an extra. How about like Leonard Williams going there would have been decent, right?
I'll tell you another move if they can make it. I don't love Desir. I mean, he's okay. I don't love him.
Yeah.
Rock Ya-Sin has struggled.
Yo, Rock got killed yesterday, and that's a shame, man. Come on, Rock.
I wouldn't mind seeing them. Kenny Moore in a corner with Malik Hooker in that safety, him and Gaithers.
Yeah.
You get another corner for the Colts. Watch out. I'm telling you, man.
It's a shame, too, because if you would, again, looked at the box score before the game, it was like, well, you know, Flacco's not going to have a great day. You're going to hold this team to 13 points. You'd be like, dude, stone cold. They run away with this. They just couldn't get ahead. And I got to tell you, in games like this, it still infuriates me because one of my early tweets yesterday, which was 25 minutes into the 1 o'clock games, the hell is going on with the kicking in the NFL? Kickers were brutal yesterday, Jeff, including Vinatieri on the first drive of the game to get a nice return. Imagine this game, Jeff. And again, still a long way to go. They end up winning anyway. But if you kick that early field goal to go 3-0, the pressure shifts to a shit team like Denver. The longer you keep them in the game, the more they can, you know, try to come back and do things. And then you're thinking like, hey, you know what? We're one play away from doing this. And Vinatieri misses an extra point. So it's not 13-13. It's 13-12. So even if they scored a touchdown, you would have to get the 2 points. Oh, this is driving me up a wall, man.
Yeah, I mean, I had the Colts just today. I'll be honest with you.
Me too.
It was disappointing. I mean, the way they played. Denver's an irritating team, man. They're
really good on defense. It's really a shame. Don't you see like almost like a mirror image, Jeff, between the Chicago Bears and the Denver Broncos? Yeah. Denver is an elite defense and has no shot at winning games basically because their offense is horrendous, and so is the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, no, it's a good comparison for sure.
Last one, Jeff. Here we'll go over. You saw it yesterday, right? Now, I did hit a team total on the Oakland Raiders. I like what the Raiders are doing on offense. I got to do a mea culpa on the Raiders. I laughed at them before the season. I thought it was hilarious. What a bust. They're actually a competent football team. When they get some horses on defense, they might even improve a little bit more. But looking at the game yesterday, early second quarter, Jeff, somebody makes a tackle in the backfield. He runs off the field with his helmet in his hand. He goes back to get checked out. And before you could blink your eyes, tweeting out, I'll let everybody down, brother. Brother, Houston, I hate letting everybody down, brother. I'm going to try to get back and be the best man I could be. And then as soon as I get home, I'm going to tweet this out. Look at my little nephew or my little niece right here. She's standing up for the first time, brother. This is what life is about on the darkest of days.
Yeah, J.J. Watt, this game can be beautiful. It can also be brutal. Absolutely gutted that I won't be able to finish the season with the guys and give the fans what they deserve. I truly love this game. You can't stand letting you guys down. I'll tell you, I actually didn't mind that tweet. Listen, we can, again, there's another reason to hate Houston. I get it. I mean, they're a pretty hateable area. I mean, but I will say, I mean, J.J. Watt's pretty important to that city. Obviously, he's a competitor. I mean, you don't ever want to see someone get injured. I don't hate him like you do. But there are players that I hate that do shit like this as well.
Jeff, by the way, speaking on the same thing, we're going to talk college football here in just a little bit. I didn't get the tweet, or maybe I missed it here on Saturday. There was a big team that took a loss that we're going to – if we could – let's just go right. We'll skip Monday Night Football. We'll get to that in a second.
Hold on a second.
Go ahead. Go.
Before you do that.
Because I want to get to this.
Sports Cake said, I don't think Fangio is a bad coach. That's an interesting call by you.
He's a really good defensive coordinator. He's a really good defensive
That's
coordinator.
What I was going to say.
Yeah.
He's a horrible offensive coach.
Well,
and I got to tell you.
You're right, though. I know where you're going.
Shout out to Flacco for speaking up.
Yeah,
too.
Isn't he right? Like, if I throw an incomplete pass here, we're punting anyway. But if I get a first down, we win the foot. Isn't that what it's about? If I get 6 yards, we win. If I hand it off, there's probably a really good shot we lose.
It was really a pussy move by Fangio.
Man, it was. You're right about that.
And look, Flacco doesn't really ever speak out. I thought that was a really poignant point by him. I loved it. I don't like Fangio. I don't think he's a head coach. Like Donnie said, as a defensive coordinator, one of the best in the league. But for again, and it's all about money. If sometimes people go into positions to make some money. I mean, it's the American dream. That's how it goes. But there's a lot of guys in this league that are not head coaches that should be coordinators. Mm-hmm. And you're just gonna have to chalk it up. Vic Fangio won't last as a head coach, but He's kind of like Darrell Bevell, Donnie. Darrell Bevell, John DeFilippo. They're coordinators. They're not head coaches. Jim Schwartz, he's another one. Yeah. Some people are just better off not being the guy. It's kind of like being Donnie, a consigliere or a boss.
Yeah, a head coach can't just lock himself in his defensive coordinator room and come up with a game plan. The head coach has to look at every single thing, top to bottom. Some of these guys can't do that.
Right. Tony said it best in The Sopranos, Donnie, about being boss. You don't know what it's like being in my shoes. Yeah. At the end of the day, being the underboss, you could deflect.
Yes.
Oh, it's the boss. He's got it. He handles everything.
Save me the preamble. Yeah.
Yeah. I sit in an advisory role, and you don't take the heat either. Look, I get you're going to make more money, but Donnie, here's a great point about life. Okay. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, Donnie, being a downtown lawyer who sees his family every day isn't half bad. You don't have to go out and be the mayor. Sometimes just being a lawyer who makes a good amount of money and sees his family every night, that's cool too. All these people that say, oh, he's going to go for the money. Sometimes, look at Jay Wright, Donnie. Jay Wright has the world, bro. He doesn't need any more. He could go to the NBA and make probably
twice as much.
$4 million more. Yeah.
Yeah, twice as much.
But he's got a great situation. Why leave it?
No, let me see. You're right, I guess. But also sometimes, like Vic Fangio, waited his whole life, always wanted to be a head coach. He's going to jump right away. You know what I mean? Because he can always and he'll always be able to settle back in. But it's kind of tough where you're going in that motion, because that was an awful. But like, if you're a 6-2 football team, 5-1, you say, you know what, I'm going to lean on my defense. We're going to see if we can win this game here on the road. I understand it, but when you have nothing to lose but just the football game itself, why are you not going for that? Because we even saw it last year, like sort of that, propel of Indianapolis Colts being a bad football team to a good one, where Frank Wright's going, no. We're going to win this football game. I don't care if there's a minute left. I'm going to show my team I have confidence in them. We're going to go for this. They end up losing to the Houston Texans, but then stunning the Texans late in the season in the playoff because of that stuff. Like, dude, my coach has my back here. Yes, imagine being a quarterback like, hey, dude, same thing as Maserati Mitch in Chicago. Look, I'm not even going to let you run any more plays. Just take a knee, and we're going to try to win it by a field goal. Glad they lost.
Yeah, definitely a weak move by him.
Jeff, let's get to the Oklahoma loss on Saturday. Kansas State. I'm at a wedding. I'm just checking on some scores, and I had to do like a double take. And so it was like 41-23 at some point in that football game getting pounded. Now, the reason I bring this game up is not because Oklahoma lost, which I'm really glad they lost, because I don't think the Big 12 should ever have a representative in the football playoff because that ridiculous football conference and how they play defense. But getting back to the whole Jalen Hurts, he puts up a monstrous football game, Jeff. But I didn't know if I saw anything like after the game. Did he break into the Kansas State like weight room and full gear and put in another workout, or was that only cool when they were like winning and blowing out bad teams?
I guess. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Donnie, you always see everything, man.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You always see everything. I don't know. I don't know if he did or not. Look, I like Jalen Hurts. I think he works hard. I'm not going to bash him for working.
I like him. No. See, this is coming from a point of I like the guy, and there's no reason to do what they were doing to him for people like me who just need it. Just give me a reason not to like somebody, and I might jump on that train. The fact that he was putting up Heisman numbers, but feeling like these other teams aren't even good enough for me. Like, I just went on the football field for 3 hours, and it was so goddamn boring, I needed to work out by myself. Hope you got a nice workout, Jalen, after getting your ass kicked by Kansas State.
Yeah, I will say with the Heisman, Donnie, he ain't winning the Heisman. Okay, sorry. I mean, Joe Burrow just keeps putting up big numbers. I mean, another big.
Your team has to, because even though if the numbers that he put up were Heisman numbers on Saturday, but you need your teammates to help you out to win the Heisman, because if Joe Burrow goes undefeated, yes, he is going to be, because you don't even have to win the national title because they give out the Heisman before the playoff even starts. He goes through the regular season, beats Alabama, wins the SEC title game. He's going to be the Heisman Trophy. No doubt about it.
The truth of the matter is, if Joe Burrow, not this week, but next week, beats Alabama, he's winning the Heisman.
Yes. And then if he carries it, yes. And as long as he doesn't have like a clunker in the SEC title game, he's going to win it. Yes.
Juke's BSG saying, being the underboss, you can also snitch. Bosses can't tell. That's also not true. Look up Joe Messino. He was a boss of a crime family. He told on everybody. There's no honor, Donnie. Everybody can snitch. Doesn't matter who you are.
No, yeah. I mean, hey, there was a boss that admitted that this thing was real, and you can't do that. Phil was very upset by that.
Listen, anybody can do anything. Don't put it past anybody in this day and age.
People ratting all the time out there. All right, Jeff, more college football as we move along. Tigers and Tide on the horizon. That's going to be a pretty fun game. Now, do we have a time for that game? I have to assume, right? It's not. Is it going to be the 3:30? I would love it if it was a 3:30 game. But are they just going to save this and just blast this at 8:00 and just fire it up all day? College game day, all that good stuff. Do we have a time on it yet?
I don't believe so. I would think it'd be at 8:00 though. I would imagine.
Fun game, man. And that's you wait a long time in college football to get these. You usually get maybe one or two, maybe a year that are this fun before like the playoff. This is going to be a good one, man.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more with you. I don't watch a ton of Alabama just because, why
you don't have any
watch
betting
it?
interest.
I mean,
Yeah,
exactly. There's no reason to. But yeah, this will be a fun one. I'll tell you right now, I'm interested. What's the number on this game? Is it out yet?
It's sure. It's got to be, right?
Yeah, there's got to be a look ahead line or something.
Let me see.
Because I'll tell you where I'm going with it.
Let's see. Just trying to slide over. Maybe DraftKings has it up.
By the way, Breeders' Cup this week, Donnie. That'll be a fun thing to bet on.
All right. Futures. Yeah, I don't think I have.
I got it here. 6.5.
Remember we talked. What was it 2 weeks ago? It was 10.
Yeah.
The look ahead line.
Listen, I'll tell you what I like. You know what I like in this game, Donnie?
Who?
Bama.
Bama now?
How can I not bet them? Listen, Here's the truth of the matter. Who are you betting on, Donnie, get a stop at the end of the game? LSU or Alabama? Because I ain't betting on LSU. I mean, I've seen them get torched this year. I don't think Alabama's getting torched. I'll take Tua. I'll take that receiving core. I'll take really – I mean, Donnie, is there anything that you would take LSU over Alabama? I mean, is there anything on that? Is there any player on either team? Is there anything on LSU that you want on Alabama over what they have?
No, not necessarily. No. But if it all matter, it's going to matter in 2 weeks because if you're going to get – we have to bring Tua back, and he's just not right for that game, and I could get more than a touchdown, then I would be looking at LSU. But if you're going to get a healthy Tua back in the football game at home and less than a touchdown, you might what do you might as well do if you're betting LSU? Take it money line if it's under 6.5 because what are they just going to hang around? No, you're going to expect them to win the football game at that point.
Yep. 10-point win for Bama.
And by the way, Jeff, on Saturday, way too many points, man. Wisconsin, bad weather. Jesus, man. Ohio State just put a beating on that team, Jeff. 14. It's 14.5. That's more than 2 touchdowns now.
Yeah, I mean, look, there are 3 teams in college football right now, and after next week, there'll be 2 teams. Look, the 2 best teams in the country are Ohio State and Alabama. You got who else do we have? Clemson as well.
Mm-hmm.
But Clemson, I mean, is anyone even talking about Clemson?
No. They're on the unless Clemson wins by like 70 every week, nobody cares.
Yeah, because they don't play anybody.
They don't play anybody, man.
By the way, man, that ACC is horrible.
And it's a shame because they brought all those teams in. Like they brought the Florida States in, they brought the Miamis in, they brought the Virginia Techs in from other schools. Like we are also a football conference, and Miami stinks. Florida State stinks. Boston College never got their wheels once they got to the ACC. Virginia Tech used to be a national power. They stink. Man.
By the way, why is Boston College in the ACC?
Because they wanted the Boston market. It's the same way. It's like they're like a little bit elevated from like a Rutgers. Like, oh, we want that New York City market, so let's get Boston. That's all. That's it. Nothing.
That's great. The New York City market.
Yeah, that's it though. That's why they swindled them so good. Oh my God, what a mistake! Rutgers going to the Big Ten. No, it's the opposite. Rutgers hit like the lottery for something they didn't deserve.
Oh, by the way, you know a guy that's stealing money right now?
Who?
Hugh Freeze.
Liberty, man, yeah, they got routed by.
Oh, you lost to Rutgers.
Yeah. Was he laying on his bed? Was he in a dentist chair or a bed, or is he out of that and he's like on the sidelines now?
I have no idea.
Oh, is he on like a wheelchair on the sidelines? That would be huge.
No, I don't know.
Either do I, but you're right about that. I actually thought they would win that game. How about this week, Jeff? Not to spoil it, but Liberty's got an interesting game this week too, don't they? I think it's Liberty UConn, maybe, or Liberty UMass. Like one of those big boys is going off this weekend.
Over City Liberty UMass.
Oh my God, you ain't lying, Jeff. NBA action tonight. Spend a little bit of time on this one. Sixers Hawks tonight. You got to think for us for the Sixers Hawks, Jeff.
Well, I think we got to see what Embiid's status is.
Looks like they said he looked really good in shoot around. Take that for what it's worth.
Yeah, well, look, if he plays. Look, I'm probably not going to bet a lot on the Sixers this year. There's not a ton of value on them. I really don't want to be involved with teams like that. I like Trae Young, though. I like the Hawks. I think they're a sneaky team. I think they'll find their way into the playoffs. They got some really good young players. Yeah, I need to know what Embiid's status is. Look, as far as the NBA, I haven't looked a ton at it just yet. I will be looking at that Warrior-Pelican game. The Pelicans have issues of their own. So I'm definitely going to have my eye on the Warriors for sure. But
How about this one, Israel? How about the Thunder and the Rockets? Because you know it's going to be emotional, and there's at least a 5-point swing on emotion that Westbrook's going to want to get back at his old team.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the Thunder can't score. I mean, I know they did the other night, but they're pretty hamstrung offensively. I don't know how they scored tonight, to be real honest with you. I don't know. I mean, for me tonight, I'm going to be looking at the Knicks. They're definitely an option. Obviously, like I said, the Golden State Warriors. I mean, the Pelicans are horrific defensively. They have literally no one playing center. I mean, they don't have anybody. You know, Zion Williamson's out. They have no size. Draymond Green could have a big night tonight, to be real honest with you. I'm going to be looking at those couple of games. But we'll talk about that, Donnie, tonight.
Hold on, Jeff. I want to play trivia with you because I want to test your knowledge. Okay. You like when I just spring stuff on you, right? Okay. So I'm looking at an analytical website about the NBA right now, and I'm going to ask you these questions. There's 5 teams in the bottom 5 in offensive efficiency. Can you name 3 of those in the NBA right now?
Okay. Utah?
No. Close. Why one you missed them?
Let me think here. Well, I mean, they're right near the bottom.
They are. You just missed it by 1. Yeah.
Let me think. So Utah, offensive efficiency.
Like efficient, like they're just wasting possessions. Yeah.
Okay, let me go. Washington?
No, incorrect. You already said one as soon as we were talking. That's 3 seconds ago. We just broke down a game. This team's 29th out of 30th, and you just mentioned them.
Let me think. I'll go. Here's 2 I'm thinking of. Cleveland.
That's 1, 27th. And we just named you. You just talked about the other one.
The Knicks.
The Knicks are one of them, yes, but also the Thunder. The Thunder are second to last.
Well, yeah, I know. I would have.
Here's the bottom 5. 26 New York, Lakers. 27 Cleveland, 28 Orlando, 29 OKC, 30th, Jeff. Who's in 30th?
Lakers.
Nope, Sacramento. Least efficient team in the NBA, Sacramento.
There you go.
You want to play a little bit more trivia on who's the best?
Yeah, real quick, though. Jeff, have you seen anything you like from Barrett? Yeah, look, Barrett's terrific. Barrett just has to take the ball at the end of games, and it's true responsibility. He's a young kid, though. I mean, it's going to take some time. But, yeah, I like Barrett. I think you look at his offensive numbers, they've been very good. I think his Rookie of the Year odds are going to continue to go down. He's going to start to assume responsibility, take some big shots. I like RJ Barrett. I think him and Matisse Thybulle have been really impressive so far. What else do you got, Donnie?
Top 5 offensively efficient teams, Jeff. Can you get 3 or 2 or 3 of them?
So the top 5
most. And this again, we're talking like 2 games, which is hilarious. But
okay, Clippers,
number 1 overall.
Let me think here.
There's a couple teams up there, a little surprising for efficiency.
Yeah, I mean it's early.
Yeah. One is an NBA team on the East Coast, the Eastern Conference. Nope, not Miami. And you figure this kid wasn't real efficient in college, but God damn it, he shot from 40 feet out.
All right, let me think here. Atlanta,
yes, 3. Top
so Atlanta
3.
Clippers, and how about Dallas? Are they in there?
No, Dallas is 6th. Just missed.
Okay, let me do a couple others. Let me think of a couple others here. Minnesota?
Minnesota is 5th, yes. There's teams in the 2. There's one team in the 2 slot that's a Southwestern Division team.
Phoenix
is 1 in the Pacific. They're 4, but this team in the Southwest is number 2 overall.
Oh, Spurs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, Donnie, Dallas. You want to watch an interesting team? Dallas is wild, man. I mean, all it is
they got that Europe. Yeah, they got that European influence, man. Yeah,
they shot Donnie, last night they shot 51 threes.
Damn.
You know how many they made?
How many?
13.
Jesus, Doncic is he's a big dude, man.
Dude, I had Portland last night, man. What a nice winner that was. That was awesome. You know, Donnie, last night in that Portland game,
late
in the game, there was a reviewed call. They challenged the foul call.
Yep.
And it was actually overturned. It's, I think, a first overturned call. Dallas is a wild team. Really interesting.
All right, final question, Jeff. The number one most defensively efficient team in the NBA. They played 3 games. Who is it?
The number one defensive efficiency team in the NBA.
3 games. Locking it down.
I'll actually take a guess here.
Go. It's a West Coast, Western Conference team.
Yeah, I mean, this one is pretty simple to me. I would imagine it's Utah.
Yep, Utah 1, OKC 2. How about that?
Let me guess a couple others that would be in there.
There's still 3 left. All East. The last 3, Jeff, all East.
I would say the Magic.
Magic are 3. Yep.
Toronto.
Nope. Toronto's 7.
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia's 4. So you got one more. Interesting one here.
Let me think here. I mean, I'm going to guess John Beeline in the Cavs.
Yeah, Cavs 5.
I mean, he's a great defensive coach.
Yeah, no, that's who lines up there. But it looks like Utah, 91.1 defensive efficiency.
You want to do the worst? I can give you the worst.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Do the worst.
The worst defensive team in the NBA.
It's not even close. It's not even close.
Yeah, the worst defensive team in the NBA is Charlotte.
No. This team has Charlotte's 29. This team's 30th.
Minnesota?
No.
Golden State?
Golden State. If not like if at one point it's 118.4 for Charlotte, it's 124 for Golden State. My God.
I guess you got to figure they give up.
Oh my God. Points per 100 possessions. 124.
Couple others that are bad. Sacramento.
Yeah, they're bad. Yep.
Minnesota. No, Minnesota's actually. I'm thinking
Minnesota's about midway.
They had one good game. The Nets are probably pretty bad.
Brooklyn's 19th. Yeah.
New Orleans.
New Orleans is 27th.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, the Warriors are struggling, man.
No, interesting stuff. So,
what do you got on tonight's game, Donnie? Miami and Pittsburgh.
Oh, look. I was going through it today. Like, first of all, it's way too many points. We understand that. Fitzpatrick's a veteran quarterback. But the one thing I keep getting back to, Jeff, in this is Pittsburgh's going to be a little bit more rested. There's no talent on Miami, Jeff. Who's stopping the pass rush of the Steelers tonight where they just don't kill Ryan Fitzpatrick in the pocket? Which leads me to believe an under should be in play at like 43 in that range. I can't lay 2 touchdowns with the Steelers. But at the same time, does Miami have that fight back where Fitz makes a couple plays here and there to keep them in it? I like the under 43. I think Pittsburgh keeps it on the ground, and I have no idea. You're looking at the team total for the Dolphins, Jeff, 14 and a half.
That's interesting that you like the under. I actually like the other side, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Here's what Miami's going to do, okay? They're not good against the pass. I think you got to sell it to stop the run. And what that's going to do, Mason Rudolph, it opens it up. They start throwing the ball downfield a little bit, maybe opening that offense up. I think Fitzpatrick, we know what he's going to do. He's a gunslinger. He's going to throw the football. I don't know. I got a weird feeling that this game's mid-20s apiece.
Yeah.
I don't know, though. It's a tough game to bet on. Who do they even have to who's even on the fucking Dolphins? I don't even
when you look at their offensive line and go through it, forget it, the grades certain websites will give out. There's no talent. And you, Jeff, you know the Pittsburgh. They've made a couple good moves. They're solid in the secondary. They have elite, fast linebackers and a nasty front line. And it's Kalen Ballage, Mark Walton's going to lead you to victory in this game.
I got to tell you though, I thought they looked pretty good last week offensively against the Bills.
Maybe you should start downgrading the Bills' defense, Jeff.
Yeah, no, that's true. I'm going to say over 43.5. I think the Dolphins. Fitzpatrick had 300 yards last week and a couple touchdowns. Mike Gesicki's a pretty good player. Alan Hearn's decent, viable player. I think that the Steelers are going to have to throw because I think if you're the Dolphins, I think you got to. I know they're a bad run defense, but I think you're going to have to sell out to stop the run. I think that's going to open up the passing game. Question here, is Jay Wright the next coach of the Sixers? I think if you're the ownership, I think you got to make a run for him. Brett Brown will fail. That's what he will. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
I think if Jay Wright's going to go to the league, The only way he goes to the league is if he goes to the Sixers because he wouldn't have to move.
And he'll
He could
have
still
such
assume
goodwill. The goodwill he would have going to the Sixers would be outrageous.
right, and he also has a very young team. He can mold it kind of the way he's done in college. And I think it's time for Jay Wright to have a new challenge, and I think that's where you look at John Beeline. I think he kind of opened the door for that. Sometimes it's about going out and doing something different and different attitudes. And look, how could you not like Jay? I mean, he's a great
That dude's got
coach.
2 national titles, man. Good Lord.
Yeah. and look, I'll say it again, and I know, Donnie, you laughed at me for this. I don't think it's that ridiculous.
Yes, it is.
It's not, because at the end of the day, if you're a team like St. Joe's, you're a team like LaSalle, you're a team like Villanova, you want mainstays of a – like, you ever notice in Philadelphia, Donnie, it's very often where you don't get, like, teams that are switching coaches all the time.
No, you're the old school guys. Because even, like, the John Giannini stayed around for, like, 10, 15 years.
What's going to happen, Donnie, is if Jay Wright leaves Villanova, they will not be the national team they are now. They just won't. They'll go back to being just like a decent
St. John's.
Yeah,
St. John's.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that they would hire Phil. I'm saying a guy like that would be, I think, what you got to go after. And does Phil want to be a coach again? I'm sure he does.
Yes, he does. I love Phil. I love Phil Martelli.
And I know it's crazy just because he did go to St. Joe's, but Donnie, we have to remember, even in Philly, does anyone care about St. Joe's Villanova rivalries? Look,
no, but they do though. But I'm telling you, they would rather lose than have Phil Martelli's right.
I don't think it's that crazy. I don't.
Which is why nobody understands Philadelphia, because if we would have told you the tale of St. Joe's making a run to the Final Four, and the only thing Villanova wanted to see was St. Joe's get beat, and basically threw their own party when their own city team got beat, so they couldn't make the Final Four. It's hilarious.
I think in the '80s. Maybe, but like I don't think now it really matter. And I'm not saying they're going to. They probably won't, but I think a coach like that is really where you look towards. But we'll see. But yes, I do think Jay Wright is definitely going to get offered, and I think he'll get $10 million a year to coach at the NBA level.
Jeff, by the way, through 100 votes early in a poll I put up about a half hour ago, would you trade JJ Arcega-Whiteside straight up for Robbie Anderson? 70% said absolutely, Donnie.
I can't believe 100 didn't.
Crazy. How did Jeff draft that guy second? He's going to be a big red zone target. Guy can't get open or catch. Good job, Howie.
I'll tell you one thing, Donnie. One thing I'd like to see them do is get the Browns to take Vitae off your hands. You got to try to get someone to take Nelson Aguilar off your hands as well, because he ain't re-signing with this team. I got to get him out of here as well.
I can't stand that guy. There's so many things that they can do, Jeff. And if I see like a waiver claim or a practice squad move for tomorrow, or they say, no, the price just wasn't right. Oh, my God.
Yeah, I hear you. It's
more likely to happen, Jeff. The Eagles bring in a real impact player, or they just like patch a hole with some whack cornerback for like a 6th rounder that could turn into a 5th or something.
Tremaine Johnson. That's what I could see that. Listen, I will say, though, I feel like I've seen this movie before. They'll sell the fact that, well, look at yesterday.
Look at everybody. Look, we got guys coming back.
Yeah, Mills played well. And look at Darby. He made a big pass deflection late in the game.
We didn't need Robbie Anderson. Deshaun's back on grass this week.
I'm telling you, man, that's what they're going to do. You heard it here first. Listen, I'll tell you, though, you got to get some. Where's Benny Logan?
I don't know. Yeah, just give me a vet. Like when you see like we signed this dude off the practice squad, you already get upset. But at least if you have a vet that had like a good year 5 years ago, you're like, okay, I could believe in that.
Donnie, let me ask you though. Benny Logan hasn't played in a year. Would you still be interested?
Well, okay, he's going to sign cheap, and he knows Philadelphia. Yeah, unless he just ate himself out of the league or something like that. Is he still working out? Can we get him on the show at all?
I tried to find info on him. I couldn't.
Yeah, that's bad then.
I've told the story about Benny Logan. I know a girl that went out on a date with him.
Mm-hmm.
And when they sat down, he hands her a piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
It's a contract.
Yeah.
And it said, it was like an NDA basically.
Yep.
Where like, don't film me.
You're not Instagramming me.
Yeah, if you know me, like,
mm-hmm.
like don't tell anyone you were with me. Like,
yep.
Like he was pretty crazy with that.
Benny and Fletch were boys, man. Like that would be bringing back.
Oh, those two are same kind of person.
There you go.
They love the women, bro.
No.
All right, we're out of here. You all enjoy your day. This is kind of a choppy show. It was just we were going all over the place and having fun and going over stuff. And I was negative and Donnie was positive.
Tomorrow, we'll be on the air and it'll be like 2:00 again tomorrow. And Howie might not have moved on anything. Jeff's going to be in an all-time tilt mode tomorrow. So
we got to start talking college basketball. We'll start getting to that. Season's 9 days away. And, I'm seeing all the college basketball people coming out of the woodwork. I'm talking futures. Yeah, we know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll be doing that tomorrow. We'll also start getting ready for another week of football. I want to say we have Maction this week. Am I right on that or am I wrong?
Usually it's first week of November, right?
Usually starts around this time.
Next week. Yeah. It's first week of November. Yeah.
Weird.
Don't worry. You get App State, Georgia Southern, man. Don't worry. You got that on the 30th.
Not a bad game, actually.
Yeah. Next week's Maction.
What happened to the Tuesday and Wednesday games last week? There were none.
I don't know. I guess they're slowing it down this week.
All right, we're out of here. You all enjoy your day. We also got Navy, Connecticut, Donnie. That Navy team, man, is good. Good. Yeah. I might be laying that one.
That might be a team total Navy I'm looking at, Jeff.
Yeah, I love Navy, man. All right, we're out of here. You all enjoy your day. Thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. Also, I'll be on later with Ski Profit, 6:30 Eastern. We'll be talking about the NBA card. I'll try to go for 8-1 tonight, Donnie, in the NBA. 7-1 so far. Make sure you tune in for that, 6:30 Eastern. You all have a great day. Thanks for watching.